Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Thieves Incorporated. This is session 7. Um, for audience, for audience sake, there has been a bit of a time lapse between session 6 and session 7. Um, from what you know, that the party was started off just getting done with their first job that they were supposed to do, but a little bit has happened in between such mostly downtime activities. Nothing too important. I guess
Scervo
we'll
got
just
a new job.
yes. He finally got that guard job that he was talking about. I guess we'll go around now. So Darren, what did you accomplish?
We've started feat training for Wood Elf Magic.
All right. Did you meet anyone?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I
Then.
just remember that last.
Oh,
like,
wait!
last-
We started dealing with the taxes. That's right. We started dealing with taxes.
Yeah. Like our last proper session, it was the thing you were the most angry about. We got taxed to hell and back, which was the main reason I got the second job.
I need my money for no reason other than just hoard it like a proper rogue.
Yes, and and so what you did was you went around and in our in-between
we were dealing with taxes
and did as many tax cuts as you could.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right.
All right. So what about you, Paimon? What did you accomplish?
What I accomplished? Well, I stole money, and then I begged for money.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I did.
And then you went with me running around getting our taxes untaxed.
That is true, yeah, that.
I'm assuming you used her as an adorable weapon of leverage?
More like as a negotiator with the dwarves that I did not stand.
Yeah, because you're racist.
I mean, I was just picturing Saren walking around with his trench coat and then occasionally being like, you need to cut our taxes. Do you want to see this face sad? And just pulling her out of your pocket, and she's just got that big
like a puppy eye
look. and the
that would be
big
hilarious.
mobster you just talked to. Okay, your taxes. Just please take that away from me. It reminds me too much of my daughter.
Oh my god.
And finally, Ticker, what did you accomplish?
Did some training with my Githka.
Right. All right.
Excellent.
So, other than that, so I guess like as far as major story beats go, Gretchen, Ragnar both left the party because Gretchen had found through use of the library that there are some notable cacti plants nearby that can be used in the making of healing potions, as well as that the taxes that they finally got cut off. One of them was definitely the unlimited oil change service, which they decided that they're not going to use
because
the paper processing fees and
Scervo's lasted for this long without a proper oil change. What are the chances he's gonna have a proper mechanical failure? On an unrelated note, John, what does actually happen to a machine that doesn't have an oil change for an extended period of time? What's the worst that can happen?
The engine seizes up. Thanks for asking. I don't think you meant that, but I literally did that to my car not long ago.
Oh yeah. I
did not know that.
I forgot about that.
I did not know
I don't think you meant it as a jab at me, but
no, I meant it as a John knows machine stuff.
No, I really don't.
John's my Donatello. He does machines.
Yeah, no. Well,
No, I
it
know.
seizes
I
if
did not know about that.
seizes if it runs out of oil. If it's moving parts like a motor or something like that.
Well,
if
yeah,
if it's hydraulics,
it does that
then
if its oil gets too old too.
yeah. If it's hydraulics, it just doesn't work because it has no oil pressure.
Excuse me while I roll a con saving throw. No particular reason.
Don't put that idea in Spencer's head. You know he'll force you to do it.
I
know.
already have ideas for things for him in the future. Don't you worry.
Oh, he does.
Oh.
Apparently, I'm operating on a debuff, which is his headcanon explanation for why my stats are so much lower than everyone else's.
Mm.
Because honestly, they are. I have the worst stats of the game, which is why I think it's so funny that his personality is a standout.
What are yours? What are your stats?
My stats: 0 strength, 3 dex, 0 con, 2 intel, 1 wisdom, 1 charisma.
Okay, so you and I are similar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're.
But
yeah.
I still have
guess it's something like that.
similar, but I mean, I do have better dex and con.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my best is my dex, and I'm only sort of good at that.
Yeah. Anyways, where were we?
Back
Where
to
were
the
we
topic
heading?
at hand. You guys finished, or at least you guys were continuing your violent attacks run throughout the series to figure out things that you can take off of it. The last one was the the entertainment funds that you thought, oh,
Yeah,
we
we just
don't need
finished.
this because we don't want to spend money on this.
If we
So now
spend money
you're-
on this, we'll damn well spend money on it when we go.
Oh, but yes, so you are currently at the Coliseum. You heard a gunshot, but then people were cheering. It turns out it's actually just a camel race.
Oh yes. Yes. To the ticket booth.
Roll a performance on the camel race.
Okay, give me a second.
I think that'd be animal handling.
For all I know, this is because for all we know, this will hinge entirely on whether or not we still pay this. Because Theron will be like, "All right, time to cut." Actually, this is a pretty good camel race.
All right,
Nope, we are cutting.
Where did the afternoon go?
All right, so in some magical means, you hear some announcer saying that number 4 is currently in the lead. He's from the Gilligee Desert, which I guess you can roll a history check to figure. Oh, Gibigee, that's what it is, not Gilligee.
I almost just kind of want him to not roll a history just so that he can immediately say, "And that means nothing to me."
But on that, there's 5 separate camels that are racing at the moment, but number 4 is who's named as a Winslow is currently in the lead.
Winslow.
Yes.
Lovely. To the ticket booth to turn off the stacks.
All right. So you walk
to the
up.
ticket booth that we go.
Yeah, it's ticket booth. So you walk up what's it? So you go to the. Oh, you mean that type of ticket booth? Shoot, I was thinking of the other type of ticket booth. So
Clarify. I was just assuming that the main ticket booth is where you go to turn off the membership thing.
Right. I thought you were talking about the ticket booth where you gamble your money to see who wins, not the ticket booth as in the entrance.
Oh, well.
There's a big difference between those two.
No, definitely the entrance.
The one where you go to gamble is your bookie. That's your bookie.
Bookie. All right. That's now a term that I gotta write down because I didn't know what that was.
You've never watched a cop show or anything like that?
Yes, but they never refer to it as a bookie. It's
well,
like
maybe not at official places.
I watched Mission Impossible 3. That was the third
That's
one,
a
right?
spy movie, not a crime show.
5.
Anyway, I don't know if
Because
the
I know
ticket window
Fallout's the
at
last
like
one.
I don't know if the ticket window at a horse race or a camel race is a bookie, but your bookie is usually the one you go to make bets outside of a
Okay.
horse racing track. I don't
All
know if
right,
the
then.
same term applies to a horse racing track, but that said, or
Gotcha.
at very least, it's the slang term.
All right, so you head to the ticket booth, and at the window, it is like this really large Goliath. It's almost comical about how he barely fit inside of like this booth, and he just goes,
Poor guy.
"Ticket, please."
Tell me, good sir, where does one go to cancel the membership to this establishment?
Uh, uh, uh. He just continues to do that for a while. Ticket, please.
Oh,
Where's your
poor
boss?
baby, he's a slave.
Where's your boss? Good sir.
Immediately go for manager.
Clearly,
I'm
this
not
fool
implying that
Karen.
Karen's. I'm not implying that Theron's a Karen.
This
I'm
fool clearly
implying-
kicked
Oh no, I
Alpha.
wouldn't be surprised if he's a Karen.
Well,
Oh, really?
I'm not
That-
implying
I find
he's
that
a Karen.
insulting.
Wouldn't he be a what's the male version of Karen?
I don't
Kevin?
know.
Kevin.
Kevin? Wouldn't he be a Kevin and not a Karen?
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I'm not accusing him of being Karen. I'm accusing him of being a Kevin.
Hmm. Well, clearly this boy he doesn't know anything. So we gotta find someone who does.
Yeah,
Uh,
perfectly reasonable in this situation.
the boss is by the bookie upstairs. He kind of points to like
Okay.
a higher floor
Have a
of
good
the
day. I walk
Coliseum.
off in the direction he. I walk off in the direction he points towards.
All right. What is everyone else doing? Are they just following
Yeah.
Theron?
Yep.
I was not following Theron because if I'm to be believed correctly, this is the same day I was getting hired.
Something like that.
No. That was yesterday. You already
Oh,
had your
it
first night
was.
shift.
I want to try to
already worked-
pickpocket the poor guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll.
Oh wait, you're gonna try to pickpocket the ticket booth?
Oh wait, he's just not like standing there.
No, he's not like standing
He's like
there.
an actual ticket booth. Okay, never mind then. Never mind then.
I
I'll wait
told
for
you
later.
it's like comically small.
I'm
doesn't-
sorry.
It doesn't guarantee his size,
Yes.
or at least it doesn't accommodate for his size. That's what it is.
All right. Well, I
Okay.
didn't think Scervo was currently with Theron because Theron probably told him before he left this morning that they were going to
Deal with some taxes.
yeah, that they were going to deal with the taxes, and Theron seems like he knows what he's doing in this field, so Scervo's just going to delegate that task to him while he deals with other things.
Why are you accusing Theron of tax evasion?
No, of
Maybe.
course not. I'm accusing you of being right with your money.
The most
Okay,
heinous
okay.
of crimes, tax evasion.
Besides guilty of tax evasion, like I have room to talk.
That's summary for immediate execution. Prisons.
He's just like, I mean, the Federal Bureau would have my head if they found me today. To which you're like, the Federal Bureau fell like 700 years ago. I know.
Anyways, to the boss man.
All right. So you walk up several flights of stairs. Give me a second while I make another roll. Ooh. It seems that number 4 has currently tripped on on himself and has currently been relegated to last place. That's a serious injury. It looks like number 5 is in the lead at the moment.
God, like this is just making me think. It's just like, it's like I'm betting $60,000 on Yabba Dabba Doo. Unfortunately, Yabba Dabba Doo stumbled and had to be put down in front of all of us.
No.
No, yabba dabba do.
Oh, that took a dark turn. Anyways, Darren, clearly not enjoying the show outside.
So you guys make it to and then there's like a side area that just has manager's office with a gold plate. Shoot, what was it? With the name Antonio Ugawa written at the front.
Subtle.
Lovely. I knock.
You knock on the door, and a small kobold comes out. It's like, sir, we should probably note that so the manager's in a business is in a business arrange at the moment. He'll be back in about I think an hour's time.
Lovely.
Would
Just
you like
lovely.
I don't know, enjoy the scenery? Yes.
You, and I point at him, are you capable of turning off memberships?
I do not have the authority to do that. I am sorry.
Guess you'll just have to wait.
Mm-hmm. Very well, then. I turn to the rest, the other two. I'm like, should we wait around for an hour or go deal with another fee and then come back?
See if you can't get an appointment.
Yeah.
What was that, Fireman?
Oh no, it's just me. I'm good.
No,
I'm
I
good.
couldn't hear what you. I couldn't hear what you said because Joey also
No.
spoke in Finnish.
No. Okay, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay.
I think she was just making a sound.
Yeah.
So turn to the kobold and be like, "Can we get an appointment?"
I'm not a secretary. You gotta deal with him when he gets here.
Oh, lovely.
I guess we just wait right there.
I guess we're just gonna wait around.
All right.
You are now his 230. Whether he likes it or not. I imagine he's not.
There's a couple of races going on at the moment. You want to gamble at all?
I don't
want to bet on any horses or camels.
Not today.
Or ostriches.
Emus.
No, they don't have emus. It's just ostriches.
I want to bet on how many emus they can kill.
You bet on the emu. You bet on the emus, and now you're the one who's rich.
Yep.
It's
I heard a story from One Material Plane about some military organization that went to war with them.
Clearly,
so I'm gonna bet on them.
Yeah, I heard it didn't go well for them.
Good old Australia. Only country to go to war with a bird and lose.
The only country to go to war with its own national bird. And
you mean
that's better.
You mean the dark elves in the Underdark, the down under, if you will.
Mike.
Anyways, so no bets, no nonsense,
Nope.
just waiting around.
It's like, unless Ticker's willing to gamble on the gladiatorial fights between emus that happens tomorrow.
No.
Okay. They switch off daily about like what their schedule is.
Yeah,
Plenty of fight.
last week we had the best fight ever. Like some armored guy with fight this lion thing. It was awesome. It was all over the papers.
All right. Okay, so what was it? So all of you are just sitting there then.
Mhm.
I know it's not the same arena.
Okay. So you sit for an hour, and yeah, you just sit for what you think is an hour. Several games are
Lovely.
going by. This is from the odds thus far. You think that if you would have betted on number 2, you would have made a fortune at this moment.
Like an actual
Okay.
fortune, or like just a figurative fortune?
Well, once again, it depends upon how much you gamble, because number 2
Yeah.
was like was like declared as like the underdog of this time around. But yes,
What were the odds? I'm just curious.
the odds were about like 100 to 1.
Wow.
Ah.
100 to 1 payout. Yeah, you could make some money with that.
Oh, there was a new
Oh,
UA.
by the way, I just so that Spencer knows what I'm doing. Since Scervo is not currently with the party, going off in his own little endeavor.
All right.
Scervo's going to investigate that museum he had an interest with, but couldn't investigate at any given time for the past 4 days.
Right. Okay.
We can get to that as soon as they're.
Well, no, you have like 2 hours of time to deal with, because it was an hour to get there and another hour of them sitting around. So we're gonna say you have 2 hours to spend. We're gonna say it's an hour to get there as well.
All right.
So
who are we moving on to? Getting back? Oh, we getting back to them, or are we doing my thing, or are we just
think
we're
we're
doing
doing you.
your thing, because you still have an hour left.
All right. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, in another part of the city,
A criminal is being hustled.
meanwhile, another part of the city, it just shows
Crime.
Scervo has no limbs and is sitting on some concrete blocks. This is not how my day was meant to go.
Okay, hold up. You are going through.
In all realness. So I assume I find the museum,
center.
or I have to find the museum.
You have no. I think you've seen the museum once.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think I saw like where it was while we were looking around town, and then
Yes.
and marked that later.
It was once again, like most other buildings here, it is simply just a repurposed what you think is like a housing structure. However, this one has like a giant dome over the top. Think shoot, that place doesn't exist anymore. I don't think there was a thing for it anyways. No, not that place either. That's not what it's called. Never mind. Okay, it's I guess close example would be like a Jabba's palace type structure,
I was
where it's
about to
just a
say.
giant dome with another large tower next to it.
All right. All right. To not Jabba's palace. Not that
Yes.
Scervo has any idea who a Jabba is. Must be a foreign name.
Okay, so you
yeah.
enter this place.
Yes.
The place is stacked like floor to floor with a whole bunch of what looks to be very pricey things that look to be a bit local. As you look onto this, and well, as you like look to your left, you see a processing type place where things that are currently on display are currently out behind behind a glass structure that leans down, and you see a very familiar looking golden idol that's just sitting there.
Ah,
To your right, there seems
intrigued.
to but yes. So so
What do I
to
see
your
to me
right,
right?
but yes, to your right, you see a desk which sits two gnomes. One is crap, got his name again. One is a familiar gnome. You've seen
Ah,
him before.
Professor
He is
Professor
yes,
Halligan.
Professor Halligan. And the other is a bit familiar. Well, no, it's not. Is unfamiliar to you. You haven't seen him at all, but it's another.
Clear, he's
This
an
one has a
acquaintance
much.
of Halligan's.
Yes, he has a pair. Well, he has a similar pair of glasses, though. Let's his whole. He has a much whiter beard and looks a lot older, and his what's it? And the top hat that he wears has an emerald band around it.
So he's not rocking the mutton chops.
No, he's not.
Unfortunate. Clearly the lesser creature.
Right.
But
And
anyway.
he's currently smoking a pipe, and the two are just having like a casual conversation.
Well, I call out. Professor Halligan!
Oh, hello.
Do you work at this
As he
fine
waves back to you.
establishment?
Well, working is a bit of a strange way of saying it's we collaborate. I believe that's the right word to use in this scenario. It's, this is Travian. He's the museum director here, and he kind of just like not waves his hand, but just kind of like directs
Gestures.
gestures to the other individual across from him.
What did you
As
say
they
his
were
name was
just
again?
Travian.
Well, a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Travian. I'm Captain Scervo. I was the one who retrieved that golden idol back there.
Yes. He looks at you very intensely. From I see an interesting build you have there. I say it's around 2000. I think that's when they started making them. 2000 to 1200 must have been through some sort of decomposition due to the amount of rust on him. I assume you've been around seawater for quite some time. It
Indeed, I'm
seems
a
that you still
sailor.
have most of your emotions intact. So this is before they decide to implant that chip into the units. Seems
Not
you're
the
a living
first
relic.
time I've heard about a chip.
I
Pray
see.
tell, I'm afraid I'm not up to current news. You say a chip was implanted in me, brothers?
More like first cousins once removed, but yes.
So a following model. Finally made those brain dead LD6s, did they?
Quite so.
Well, for their sake, I hope they were better than the 5s.
Unfortunately,
Couldn't
no.
tell which way was north.
They were soon replaced by the LE models afterwards, because people thought that the 6s looked a bit too funky.
I'm sorry, did you say 2000? Just to clarify, I'm from the Elven Empire known as Britain. I had to come up with a name on the spot, and there's a lot of shanties that refer to British.
Okay, so we're making it canon.
Yeah,
The elves
Oh
are
my God.
British.
the British
guess it
Elven
doesn't-
nation, because why not? They sound posh.
Okay.
Some posh elves sounds hilarious to me. Remember, this nation fell.
Okay, but yes.
Scervo's canon
So
is ridiculous. I think we've established this.
right. From a strange other plane in the multiverse that's connected to Sigil.
Apparently.
Oh shoot. Oh, never mind. Oh, all's good. Um this but yes. That is the current layout. It was, well, not layout, but that's currently what's going on. So Trabian asks you, so what's business here today?
Oh, well, I heard there was a museum in the area, and I've always had a fancy for art, for ancient artifacts.
Right. Do you want me to give you the tour, or are you fine by yourself?
Oh, might as well give me the tour if it doesn't trouble you any.
No, it'll be fine. But yeah, I guess standard museum protocol. No smoking, eating, and especially no touching.
I'll keep me hands to myself. don't want to have one of them welded back on again.
All right.
Gestures briefly to a apparent obvious weld mark on one of his hands. Well, I say obvious in the relative term, considering that this weld probably happened 2,000 years ago.
Okay. So listen. So for about like an hour, let's see. So about an hour, he just traverses. He just starts. He starts telling you like the backstory of everything that that's been collected thus far. As well as like some interesting theories about how this entire place does seem to have a strange connection with the undead, and we believe this to be one of those old necromancy schools of sorts that that no one ever really hears about, but you have to wonder. There probably has been some, and this might have been just the biggest find for a while. However, some dates don't really seem to match up.
Chup, how so?
It's as you guys pass by, like the painting on the opposite side of the wall that you guys discovered a couple of days ago. It's the place seems to predate a lot of the preconceived like notions of necromancy, or at least as far as Vecna is concerned. You could make like a history check if you want to,
Hang on, let's go ahead and do that. See if Scervo
or
actually
possibly
knows.
also religion.
Let me see which one's better. They are both the same.
Boop, boop, boop. 7.
Apparently not.
Okay, so do you want
Apparently
to say it's history or religion?
that was history. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
They're both the same stat.
Right.
Or, well, they're both the same in terms of modifier.
You've heard of Vecna like maybe once in your time as a sailor. He's definitely older than you, and you think that he's sometimes you hear like the odd cultists say something about Vecna, but you don't really know who it is.
I think I used to hear some odd cultists say something about Vecna.
Oh, would you like to read a lesson then?
Well, it might be nice to know what those crazy people were blabbing on about.
All right.
I
The,
know them.
the next conversation goes on for like about 2 hours, but essentially,
Honestly, it
what
won't
he
surprise me if it's time for Scervo's shift by the time he's done here.
right, but he talks to you about how Vecna is like the
He's the
is,
god of
I
liches, is what he is.
yeah, he's the god of liches as well as necromancers in general. He then tells you about like a Serarak, his apprentice, as well as that funny event that happened like I don't know how far it is in this timeline, but like less than 100 years ago, how like Vecna almost came back to life and killed a lot of people.
You mean the events of Die Vecna
He then
Die?
goes on as I believe so. Yes,
That
as
would have been hundreds of years ago by now.
hundreds of years ago, and then he like gives a little spiel about how
So
about
apparently,
Orcus, who's this
so
other
apparently,
undead
Scervo
guy.
was before this happened.
Possibly.
No. This place was before. What was it? Okay, so Die Vecna died is definitely after you've been incarcerated inside of like a
Yeah,
sea cave, but Vecna's existence was before you.
yeah, okay, yeah, because that's what I meant. Like, apparently, this funny story happened comparatively not that long ago.
Right. But the place itself, or at least this giant structure, the entire structure of Jazeera is older than Vecna. That's what's
Yeah.
odd.
Huh.
But yeah,
Now
so you
that
guys
is
just
now that
continue
is an oddity.
to pass by things, and we're gonna switch back to the other guys
Yeah,
because
of course.
now you guys have 2 hours to spend.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
lovely.
so it's exactly an hour on the dot. What do you want to do? You haven't seen anyone like reopen the door.
It's been 1 hour.
Yes.
Knock on the door again, obviously.
All right. You knock on the door again. The little kobold comes again. It's like, oh, you're
Oh.
still here.
I
Uh,
didn't expect you to wait.
he's he's not back yet.
Roll an
You said
insight.
an
See if
hour.
this
Where
isn't
is
the
he?
manager just not wanting to deal with you.
That's a good idea.
I will roll that, yeah. Yeah, no, I have no clue.
I'm pretty suspicious.
Well, I haven't told you how suspicious you are yet. It's just that is that now, listen, or at least judging from this tiny uh gosh freaking dang it kobold's reaction, he doesn't seem to give off like any vibes that he's currently in, but also at the same time is definitely hiding something.
I just grab the corner of the door that he has open with the stick his head out, and I pull it open all the way.
All right, as you listen, as pull it open, there's currently, or at least you start hearing sounds from down the hallway. Well, okay, as you open it, you realize that it's actually a series of doors, and all the way down there's an office where, like a full-on office. It's entirely decorated with all the CEO type things that you would normally see. So, like a nice mahogany-looking desk in the center, and then some nice leather chairs. You think it might be made out of some drake hide. And there's
Clearly an import. Mahogany in the desert? Not an easy find.
It was at least, it would have, Vecna's stuff would have been at least 300 years ago.
okay.
I can't find any information on when exactly the book took place, but it took place shortly. I know it took place shortly after the Rogue March, and that took place, something that took place after that was in the 13th century DR. So at least 300 years ago.
Oh, that was before even our lowest estimate on Scervo's age.
Yeah.
But yes.
Well, after, I should say.
When was I? Okay, so Drake Hyde chairs. There's currently currently two people arguing, one at the desk, which seems to be a large, just listen, not, I guess I shouldn't use the word large, but also large, like, not category like 9 feet by 9
Big,
feet,
but
just
not large creature
big,
size.
a very big man, and he's arguing with another fellow that looks to be like one of the lackey Goliaths outside. At which point, he's the man in the chair just pulls out a gun and shoots the Goliath dead.
Oh, bummer.
Well, clearly his meeting's over
I turn
now.
to the kobold and I'm like, does that happen often?
More often than I wish.
Well,
That
clearly
is
his meeting's
unfortunate.
over now.
But clearly the meeting is over now. Anyways, I head for the office.
Clearly he has an opening in his schedule.
What'd you say, Spencer?
So as you like just push the kobold aside, he's just like telling you, I don't think this is a very wise decision to do that. He's very angry at the moment. You won't like it when he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you heed his words?
I just nod and approach the office. I do not go in yet. I approach it.
All right, you approach is the man in the man who has gotten up is like now told towards you, well, is now turned towards you, and then sees the three of you, then looks down at the kobolds and said, I thought I told you that I was in a meeting. It's like I told them they just can't.
I speak up now. Well, it looks like your meeting is over. We have some business to discuss. Assuming you're the boss here.
That is true. What is it that you wish to discuss?
We wish to turn off our membership fee and membership to this establishment.
All right.
Cancel our membership.
All right. We usually discuss that on crap, I forgot the name. Days of the week. We're gonna say it's the 9th. Well, usually on the 9th day that you usually adhere to. Well, that we do those.
Oh, we just got here and just got our first week's pay, and we were fixing all these
and we were
miscellaneous add-ons that were tacked on without our approval.
All right then. What was it? You did see the paperwork, right?
Paperwork for canceling this fee, or you have to specify with there's so many papers involved.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our automaton who read all the paperwork isn't with us right now. He's currently absorbing a new collection of information. Oh, very fascinating.
All right. Well, in order to go through the process of cancellations, like, while yes, this is the office in which we would normally do that, I am afraid that we cannot make such a function at the moment, for there have been some unfortunate circumstances, he says, while basically kicking the body of another one of the goon that just died.
Well, then just hand us the stack of papers we need to fill out, and we'll be on our way, and we'll return them to you tomorrow or the day after.
I
Oh.
will turn to you on the specified day if you wish.
Oh, if only it were that simple. You see, things don't work like that around these parts. I'm afraid for your cancellation fee, well, because you've decided to opt out, there is a huge cancellation fee that I'm afraid that you'll have to go through if you want to get the papers done.
Oh, really?
Let's say for the inconvenience and telling us basically the day after, I'm afraid it's a cancellation fee of 300
So
gold.
Yeah, if we waited till Friday or day 9, there wouldn't be a cancellation fee.
The cancellation
Well,
fee would be lessened.
yes, the cancellation fee would be significantly lessened.
I guess we wait until then.
Very well then. See you in a few days. I turn around and immediately walk out of the door.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Well, I don't even say that.
Well, you should just get in his good graces so that he doesn't, so that he
No. I'm
doesn't
clearly
come up
thinking
with
this guy
another
is a scam artist and a crook. I'm clearly thinking this guy is a scam artist and a crook.
Oh yeah.
I just said, very well, see you then. And I just turn around and leave.
Yeah. Be polite, but don't be too. Don't be.
I'm not being friendly.
Yeah, be polite, but not friendly.
Yeah.
I'll see you then. And I just turn and walk out the door.
Till then.
All right.
Well, that was a waste of time.
What was your? Not really. You now know that there's a significant cancellation fee, and that we'll have to wait till the 9th.
You're not here to say that, Scervo.
Yeah, I know.
I was muttering to my 2 companions, like, well, that was a waste of time.
What do you guys want to do now? Because now you guys have like another hour to spend.
Probably go find Scervo.
Yeah, let's go looking for good old Scervo.
For all you know, he became the museum.
Did he mention he was going to the museum before we left?
He in fact did.
Okay, to the museum. To the museum.
He's probably still there. I mean, granted, I don't see how he can't get bored after 2 minutes.
Oh, wait, give me a second. Shoot, never mind. This is what I get for having a bunch of papers around. All right, so once again, like in the conversation, he's still having like this crap. Give me a second again. All right, that Trabian is still like just having this long discussion about the history as well as like the techniques in just like necromancy in general.
Scervo, are you trying to become a necromancer?
Oh, that's when they walk in, Scervo hearing about necromancy.
No. This is just me asking if Scervo planning on becoming a necromancer.
That would be a pretty funny moment for us to walk in.
Well, it is the moment that you walk in.
Oh, lovely.
You walk in.
I just straight up say, hearing this, I'm just like, Scervo, are you becoming a necromancer?
Are you turning into some kind of supervillain? The water and the water in the cooler bubbles.
Like you just, John, like Ticker says out loud, just like, wait, are you trying to become a supervillain? Scervo immediately shoots Ticker. I can't let him know.
Or
no witnesses.
No, what it would be, Scervo just glares at us And then does Scervo have any form of coolant or something?
Anyways, so here's the. Well, I have a bad feeling if he had any coolant, it probably evaporated.
Well, if he had coolant,
actually the
he just glares at us, and then the coolant bubbles.
Yeah. But anyways, so
clearly
in
Scervo is
response-
actually the BBEG of the campaign.
Turns out he just needed a software update to reboot his old Dread Pirate Roberts personality.
Software patch.
There's a reason why they don't make your models anymore.
Yes. Now if you'll excuse me, immediately corrupt that one porcelain robot into basically another Scervo. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to set an army on these horrendous fleshlings.
Here, I've got I was referencing a Futurama scene.
Yeah.
There's a gift for you.
Anyways, so did you actually ask the question of Scervo becoming a necromancer?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so Scervo is going to turn, audibly. His gears will audibly whir as he turns around. Mr. Tharin! No, I just have an interest in history. Apparently this town is deeply ingrained with the heathen arts of necromancy, which definitely explains which explains the night crawlers in the graveyard.
Lovely. Just lovely.
Anyways, you were saying, Professor.
Oh yes. So well, that's most of what I can tell you. But we haven't gotten on until someone was it to the other sections. It's
As it quickly
to break
dawns
up
on
the
your
mu-
party that Scervo has been attending the tour.
Hate to break up the tour, but don't we have other business to be taken care of, Scervo?
this is all happening, or at least, but yeah. So listen, you guys are just currently walking. Scervo, make me a perception check.
1 second. Let's see if Scervo's eye fails again. Goodness.
Probably.
You see a familiar looking mast.
Huh? Like a lot of his functions just stop.
As you see in front of you a very familiar that the room just that you're in just currently opens out, and listen, and you see a very familiar looking ship.
I know this build. I just want to check, is it actually Scervo's?
As you'll have to get closer to it because currently you're like a bit of a distance.
Excuse me, Professor. What's that over there?
Oh, I guess it would be a bit familiar to you. This is the big thing that I really wanted to show you. It's we believe that it might be another of your kinds, but we found this out in the dunes 50 years ago. It was 50 years ago. It was just out there, and we had it rebuilt, and we I just kind of want this. I like to say that this is like my private collection of stuff, but I'm just interested that listen, but I'm so happy that you can recognize it even after such a long time.
At the very least, it's got to be a similar model. Hey, we're mass produced after all. There were at least some odd 50 of us.
Right. So as you get closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming he's taking us over there right now since Scervo expressed an immediate interest in this.
Yes.
And by the way, at this point, he's clearly ignoring anything Theron says.
I'm just like, don't we have things we're doing?
Right. So
But
No
just
longer acknowledging his existence.
but yes, so on the side of this ship, or at least you see those big, those big red letters studded in only the finest platinum as you reread a a phrase that you've heard several hundreds of times: the Crimson Duchess.
He's gonna run on ahead of the dude. Hey, that's mine. It's my ship.
No,
Let's look, Scervo, how could it be your ship? You were on the ocean. This is a desert.
I'll never forget. Scervo will reach in what remains of his moth-eaten coat and pull out a surprisingly well-preserved signet of the of his ship. Of his ship. I'll never forget the look of my own ship. This is the
It can't be
you ever
your
find the model
ship.
number on the ship?
We went through 2 portals to get here. And there's not a drop of water anywhere to be found. Can't be your ship.
What was this guy's name again?
Trabian.
Professor Trabian. Would it be all right if I took a look inside? If I took a look near the captain's quarters? I just want to see the model number.
No, nothing. He says with a rather constrained but angered voice. He is not very. Wait, did I go out or?
No.
You did not.
No,
you did not.
okay.
I was waiting to hear your response.
But yeah, it's just that he just goes no touching. He yells as if trying to constrain some sort of deeper, emotion. But that's all he says, and then like calms down after just starts breathing heavily, like his face just flashing red. It was no.
Did you at least see
touching.
the model number?
What do you want to know about the model number?
I just want to know what it is.
I'll go check it myself. He then goes up. Shoot, I forgot. It was like, you never told me what model number it was.
It would be the same as Scervo's. If it is indeed his ship.
He
LD 40616.
He tells you that. I don't know why that's important.
What a coincidence! I think you just found this ship's first mate.
I thought Scervo was the captain.
Well, this guy would know Scervo as the first mate for the ship.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what he was built for. He became captain after the war ended.
Okay. I just feel like Scervo would still refer to that as whatever. Never mind.
Well, it's still possessive his ship.
Well, yeah.
Because he was it's pretty much part of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. I don't care. It is mine. I found it.
Where? I do have to ask, were there any other things along with the ship? Remains, perhaps?
None that I could find. The entire thing was picked clean. Half of the hull wasn't even there.
I mean, you are in the middle of a desert. What does one need with a ship anyways?
What kind of state was was the poor girl in?
Decrepit.
Scervo's like looking at Theron, and his eyes showing a harsh crimson instead of his usual blue. He's just with any luck, Mr. Turner has already met his heathen gods.
Turner is what race again?
Elf.
Yeah.
I'd sit and think for a moment, as if pondering it, and we're like, well, he could be dead. Or not. How old was he when he stabbed you in the back?
It was about, the lad was about 156. We
And it's been, what,
but a week
700
had
years?
for someone like-
750-ish years, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
well,
like,
he
yeah,
just-
I sit there and do
just
math, and I'm
announced
like, yeah, he's probably dead.
Yeah,
He's probably been dead for about 100 years or so, give or take 50.
at the. Yes, well, you see that's the strange thing. I think I've just comes to my attention. I might be quite a bit older than I seem.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, You said I looked around 2000.
No, that's when they started making your models. I'd say I can't really tell at the moment. You're entirely covered in rust. It could be around that time, but I don't know the exact. While I have
We found him
lived-
in a coastal cave, buried in, without his legs attached. So the rust could just be from the salt air.
Oh gosh, that ruins things. He's like getting increasingly more angry.
What seems to be
Problem.
bothering you so much, Professor?
Well, he's already like told you. It's like you keep pestering him. This is about his things.
Yes, well, he seems so excited about talking about things, and now that he's actually being asked legitimate questions about it, he seems to be losing his.
He's right. But you're saying that you owned it. It was like it's yours. It's like, and that's what's got him riled up.
What do either of you want with the ship? It can't go anywhere. It's in the middle of a desert. Sand everywhere. It's a sea ship. Needs water to float on.
It's a part of history. It's important. You will never understand, you filthy elf.
Well, who needs artifacts of
Scervo
history
will
when you
actually
can
turn-
live the
Scervo-
history?
Scervo's turned, still having his red menacing glare. He's like,
What?
yes, you'd never understand how much this boat means to me.
What race is the
He's a
museum
gnome.
guy?
He's a
No.
gnome.
No.
Same as Halligan.
What do you need with artifacts when you can just watch the history? Ugh. People live with such short lives. Except for you, Scervo. You're an ancient. Perhaps the ship has sentimental value to you, but I still don't understand why it's such a, quote, important historical artifact, close quote.
Because it's mine.
It's a boat.
It's mine. It's my
Oh, so
boat.
it's
I
just
know
deck-
the history. I found it. It's mine.
Yes, and if this were anywhere other than a hot, dry desert, it would have rotted away centuries ago.
I have to honestly commend you on the restoration. She looks as good as the day she first set sail.
If
only I could say. If
you've
only I could
calmed
say
him
the
down.
same.
You've calmed him down slightly. Yes.
Yeah.
He starts panting from like exhaustion.
Only I
from
could say-
being worked up.
If only I could say the same. He's looking at
Clearly,
his
if we
own.
just keep
at
working
his
him
own
up and letting him
rusted
calm
and
down,
straight-
working him up and letting him calm down, and he'll eventually get levels of exhaustion, and then we can drop him to unconsciousness and steal the boat.
How
Wouldn't
are
be
we
hard
going to
to steal
steal
the
an
boat.
entire boat?
It has a function, but of course that's a different matter entirely.
Again, you're pretty useless on the sand.
And also, how are we
Unless
going to
it's
steal an entire boat exactly?
Oh, that's actually the easy part.
Yes, it's actually very easy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
his boat. It's a folding boat.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If I were to get
A very
inside,
big folding boat.
inside the captain's quarters, I could instantly turn it into a small object that can actually be stored within Scervo.
Oh, okay.
Like I
For
said, we just get the
Think
gnome
of
all worked up and then calm him down, and then get him all worked up and then calm him down, and get him all worked up and calm him down, and get him all worked up and calm him down, and he just passes out from exhaustion.
The problem is he'll know exactly who took it, though.
Yeah.
That's currently the issue. So unfortunately, I might have to give this poor lad the black spot.
He can't put the crime if he's consumed by all the undead in the middle of the night.
That is true.
Jeez, that's dark.
But he is keeping Scervo away from his prized possession. But yeah. Oh my goodness. If we somehow end up on the freaking we end up on one of those required expeditions with him.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
It'd be a darn shame if he didn't come back from this.
Oh, it would just be it. Oh, you see, he walked right into the trap.
Bummer.
He walked right into the trap.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, yeah, so Scervo is just looking rather fondly at the ship. I wonder, if only I could look that good again. I must be. Look at me, I must be a sight compared to the old girl.
Well, you are a bit rusty.
Bit more than that. He looks specifically at his hands, which have clearly been worn down. Because, remember, he spent an extremely long amount of time scraping away at a wall with nothing but his bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
He still has usable hands, but they're pretty grinded down from what they're supposed to be. Tell me, would you happen to have any reference material for one of my make? Might want to get myself touched up.
I believe you'll have to check the library because I don't deal in books.
Very well.
Seems odd for a historian to not deal in books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, clearly this guy's a hoarder, not a historian.
Yeah.
So, any other interesting facts about this fine vessel?
What do you want to know?
But I'm quite curious about the circumstances of where it was. I was trapped for a long time, so I'd like to know as much about the old girl before I take my leave. Can't really set sail in these conditions. She'll have to stay here for now.
And in the hull, we didn't find, or at least in the remaining bit of the hull, there was a significant stockpile of. Gosh, freaking dang it! I gotta get the exact wording on this correctly, otherwise, otherwise you guys might not know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna be looking around. I'm gonna roll an Arcana for any. Well, no, I don't see anything like that. I'm just rolling around to see if I see any extra defenses so that I can plan a heist.
All right.
All while getting this guy talking. Okay, so what I just rolled was my perception, which is a 17.
All right. As far as you see, you don't see like a whole lot of things. It's like, sure, yes, there's like that the door can be barred, but as far as like technical stuff, this place doesn't have any. However, there are like a couple of strange looking orbs around. One of them seems to grow like a bright emerald-ish.
Oh.
Other ones like
Wait,
are just like the various
Wait, with that
colors. A couple of them
with
are
that 17,
misty.
the size of the orb, would that happen to be coinciding around the same size as those divots we found in the door?
You
Using
uh,
using Scervo's mechanical capability of geometry.
make just like a solid intelligence check to like
Oh
put
boy.
two pieces together.
Oh boy. This is not gonna go well. Holy hell!
At 20, huh? It's like the
Really,
two
Maddie?
circuits it's like the two wires just like just
as his old
connect.
circuits spark back to life.
Really, Maddie?
Spark of inspiration.
Dude. Maddie.
Maddie,
Really?
please. This isn't
Really?
Maddie, please. This is we're more highbrow humor than this.
Yes, we are.
We're not going to settle for a cheap knob gag. Anyways,
Yeah, you might be thinking, yeah, something seems a bit odd about like just the placement of this orb and like how it just so happens to be a color that you're finding, and how it just so happens that as you like start connecting pieces together, and then you finally turn back to like the gnome's hat and the strange emerald band around it, and you start thinking a bit that some things
this
are a
might
bit
not be a gnome.
too clear.
This might not be a gnome. It in fact might be an emerald dragon.
You might be thinking some things don't quite add up, as why are there a bunch of expensive things in this place, and how come none of it's stolen?
No, not only that, not how is it not stolen, but also why did he get so immediately defensive and possessive over everything, almost draconically possessive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the name of the substance they found in the hole was something called mythalar.
Mythalar. So a bunch of
You can make a history check at disadvantage because there's no way you would know what this is.
Yep. Might as well try for kicks. Well, definitely not happening. It's a 6.
A 6. Yes, it has myth and alar in it.
It is apparently an element of some kind.
Sounds like a type of rock.
Emerald dragons like extreme heat,
Yep.
though they usually make their homes in volcanoes. But
So I actually
Emeralds, not red?
emeralds, yeah.
Yeah.
They are unusual
didn't-
among gem dragons for their preference for
So,
coinage
Scervo's-
over gemstones.
So Scervo's eye turns back to its usual blue, and he elbows Mr. Theron and nods towards the orb.
So I just read something that is perfect here. Obviously, in
Mhm.
character, we wouldn't know this, but emerald dragons also prize cultural artifacts, especially relics with historical significance.
Yes, it's almost as if I put some effort.
It's almost as if you read Bisbins.
It's almost like Spencer. It almost resembles Spencer's knows what he's doing.
No, I just decided to look at the Bisbins page for emerald dragons. So I was
All right.
curious.
All right, yeah. So I nod towards the emerald artifact, elbowing Theron, but I also give a gesture saying, "Don't make a move. Don't make a move. Just make note of it."
We should
I see the orb, and I just like.
Realistically, we should probably let the boss know.
Nope, exactly. That's exactly what Scervo's plan is. But he also wants to ask if it'd be quite all right if he obtained the boat that seems to have no significant value to the nearby area.
Yeah.
Because I think that he'll be fine with us taking it so long as it has nothing to do with his
With his expedition.
with his expedition. At that point, it's just free game, and then Scervo can just take what's rightfully his.
And they have a psychic breath weapon.
Yep. Yeah, they're the psychic gem. Yeah, they're fascinated with various designs of coinage and often strive to collect rare mintages. Most emerald dragons can precisely enumerate the names, amounts, and denominations of every bit of currency in their hoards.
Sorry.
Emerald dragons also provide cultural artifacts.
So I think that confirms our theory that, assuming, I think that confirms our theory that the blue dragon skeleton has a orb at it.
Yeah.
It place great importance on an item's provenance, which can make it difficult to gauge how they might value any particular object, despite remaining unmoved by the loss of a gold scepter deemed to be a replica. An emerald dragon might become enraged at the theft of a clay mug known to have been used by a legendary dwarf warlord while on campaign.
All right. So, all right, I'm going to mark down Crimson Duchess and Missing Orb, I guess, as a quest.
Okay. Yes, so I'm going to write down on my character sheet. Emerald Orb / Dragon.
Though then again, our characters wouldn't know that it would confirm our theory. Not for certain.
Emerald Orb. I'm just going to write Emerald Orb in.
Scervo's pieced a lot together.
Yeah, but
museum.
Yeah. We seem to have a pretty good feel. Would I be able to identify that this guy's probably an emerald dragon at this point?
Oh.
And given that 20 earlier.
He seems to have he seems to be pretty knowledgeable about legendary creatures, like how he was like, it's 3 krakens tall.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like
that's weirdly specific measurement.
The rest of us are like,
and he's at least an adult because he can change shape.
Yeah.
Oh. We're like, Scervo, how do you know these things? You're just like, yes, it's a game.
I have an interest in history, all right? And believe it or not, there's many dragons in history.
He's like, yes. The gate is 3 krakens tall, and the rest of us are like, how do you know that?
Why is that why do you know that very specific measurement?
Why?
Plus, you've never dissected a kraken on a weekend?
No, not a kraken.
What the hell kind of life did Scervo lead?
An odd one.
Piratey one?
That's a good question.
A question that forever will only confuse us more the more we think about it, and the more Spencer lets me write whatever the hell I want. But considering it was 2,000 years ago, I don't think he's gonna I don't think he's gonna stop. Considering at this point none of it matters. The only thing that matters is what could have survived to this day, which so far seems to only be the ship in Scervo.
Then again, there are plenty of planes where time doesn't pass, so...
Okay, so... Scervo is going to give us a way out of this seemingly hostile situation. Scervo is just going to... just go... Mr. Taryn, I'm afraid I lost track of time. What time was it?
I tell him the current time.
Is it that time already?
Like 1 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, is it that time already? Didn't we have an appointment?
Yes.
Brad, make an insight check.
Okay. No, I don't have a modifier. Nat 20.
Ah, yes. You know exactly what he's talking about.
You know exactly what he's saying. He's saying we have an appointment with getting the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been trying to tell you that for like the past hour.
I'm terribly
Jesus.
sorry. My apologies. I'll have to cut the tour short. I'm late. I'm late for a previous arrangement.
Oh, yes, that's fine.
I guess I'll just have to come back and finish the tour another time. We left off in the necromantic era 1983 section, correct?
I don't think it's.
Well,
I think it's
I just named off something
1237,
weirdly specific.
but yes.
Ah, goodness. Ah, goodness. Well, I'll just have to come back at some other point whenever I have free time. You have a good evening now, Professor.
It's not evening.
Afternoon. My internal
That's
clock
more
must
correct.
be.
Sorry.
No. If we're making that canon, Scervo's gonna backpedal and say, apparently my clock's off.
Okay,
I mean,
you just have a clock
it is
attachment.
daylight savings time.
Yeah, no.
In 3 hours? 4
Yeah.
hours?
I'm not saying Scervo like has an actual physical clock. It's just like kind of an internal timer that's apparently off.
It overflowed. That's what it did.
Yeah. Yep.
You hit the
Or maybe the multiple dimension.
You hit the 2.1 billion maximum, and it overflowed back down to 0.
Yeah. Too many portal jumps. Now
It's
just fries
Y2K all over again.
Anyways, we'll make our leave. With a bit of hurry to make it look as if to back up the fact that we're apparently late.
Maddie. This is like I guess like Ticker.
Yeah.
And do either of you remember having an appointment?
No.
Right.
But Darren and Scervo seem to have agreed on something.
Yeah. Darren and
Yeah.
Scervo seem to have agreed on something, and I imagine with like telepathy and stuff, I can sense that we need to get out of here.
Sure. Scervo's definitely giving off a telepathic signal that while you don't know what it means, it sounds something like wow, wow, wow.
In fact, both Thrycreen and Mystic Telepathy allow responses back, so while I don't have true telepathy yet, I'm basically going to telepathically ask Scervo what's going on.
You get some garbled noise back that sounds something akin to
like a early 1900s
Dragon.
radio.
Yeah. It's just like, just early 90s radio or early 40s radio. It's just fine. I'll have a completely different voice for Scervo's internal thoughts. That, my good sir, appears to be a dragon. We need to skittle on out of here before we get ourselves fried.
Good golly.
Yep, I'm gonna relay the information to Paimon, and I'm gonna start going.
Thanks to a snap decision, apparently Scervo sounds like an old-timey radio on. God, I was wanting to do that voice for a completely different character. I never nailed down what kind of character, but I did. All I started with was radio voice.
All right, you guys make it out and from what point, or at least you make it outside the museum, and we're gonna say, yeah, you're like 200 feet away, so probably
Yeah.
safe to like talk.
Yeah. All right. So we'll need to see if we can. So let's recap. That remind me, didn't what was our boss's name again?
Belladros Gelt.
Belladros. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Gelt told us that said that he had only identified the location of a red emerald, of a red artifact, correct?
Yes, I believe that was the case.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He only knew where the red one was. He doesn't know where the others are. He has some ideas, but he doesn't know definitively.
I believe that is the consensus.
We need to see if we can't get an audience with Mr. Gelt. Because I believe we just found the emerald orb.
Yes.
And I have multiple, and I now have quite the incentive to retrieve it. Call it a down payment. We get that emerald for Bellatros, but the Duchess is mine. I need that clear to all of you.
Yeah, we get
Again,
it.
what would we want with a ship in the middle of a desert?
Exactly.
I've already had that boat taken from me once, Mr. Theron. I am not about to lose it again.
Nah, I think we're taking
I'd rather
it.
go offline than lose it again, especially not to some elf with a shady background. It was my mistake. I made the mistake of hiring that young Turner, but you do not. You've proven somewhat trustworthy so far. Do not make me reconsider my decision.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have yet to answer my question. What would I want with a boat in the middle of a desert? The answer is I wouldn't. There is none. Besides, do I look like I know how to drive that thing? But
That is true. That is true. You did need my assistance getting off that island, didn't we? I'm so sorry for blowing a fuse on you, Mr. Theron. I put a hand on his shoulder. A lot of emotion, a lot of tied up emotion, as you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Just choked up to see the old girl again. Oh, I'll have that hole in me filled soon enough.
Or what are you, Freddy Fazbear from Security Breach?
Yeah, he'll turn around and be like, no, that's not a euphemism. I literally have a slot. And he opens a chest panel and there's and a fucking spider crawls out of it.
I'm gonna climb in there.
It's not big enough for Feynman.
I don't
Oh
care.
no. I want
I'm
my
gonna
baby.
try. I don't care.
Oh, imagine if it was though.
That would have been
sneak
so
her
funny.
into anywhere we wanted.
Bro,
Feynman,
just nickname me
stop.
Gregory, man.
You could probably maybe fit your arm in there at best.
You're saying if Paimon was a fairy, a tiny
yes.
creature,
Yes, it's
we could totally just have you smuggle the fairy into wherever we wanted.
Yeah, it's basically a slot that's big enough for. It's big enough for something around the size of a heart.
Yeah, Paimon's a bit bigger than that.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, as soon as the spider crawls out, Scervo goes, how long has that been there? And starts scraping out the spider webs. I really need to get cleaned. So.
See, we cancel the oil membership too early.
I think I need a bit more than an oil change. He needs a whole He needs to be completely restored. Anyways, let's see if we...
Ticker mutters something in Thrycreen about, like, if you didn't keep running off every night, I could have some time to work on you.
Something you need to say, Mr. Ticker?
No. You just hear no in the telepathy. Like, no other word comes through clearly, but this no just comes through, like, crystal clear.
Scervo gives a look like, that's what I thought.
Have something to say?
Let's...
No.
I'm trying to review the contract. Did it ever make mention of how to get in contact with the boss, or did we ever find any way to regularly get in contact with him? Or are we just going to have to make a trek up to the top of that damn pyramid and roll the dice?
Well, once again, you're back at the top of the pyramid because the museum,
yes, that's right. Everything
Bellatros's
important's at
house,
the top
the
of
Red Tower. Yeah, everything important's at the top of the tower, like the little square area.
Okay. Well, I guess at this point, since we're in the neighborhood, as it were,
Literally.
what's the harm in seeing if we can't at the very least make an appointment?
Yeah, let's go.
Sure, I'm sure Bellatros would be very interested in our finding.
Oh yes, most definitely.
All right, so you guys travel for a bit until you make it to the Belladros's abode slash manor slash
Office.
office. Several million, probably million gold house that he just has here.
Because of course he does.
Probably transported here through magic.
He seems the type who values extravagancy more than anything.
Yeah, and also my storytelling senses have been basically going oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap ever since he showed up. I'm almost certain he's the BBEG.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. But I'm also certain that we're at the current level that even if we tried to sneak attack kill him, we wouldn't be able to do
he's
it.
probably CR 30 or above, but still.
Or at the very least CR 20 something.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it, or the bridge will burn us. Either way.
Either way, the bridge gets burned.
Yeah. I guess we knock if there's no attendance or anything like that to announce our presence.
Let's see. Okay, so back in my notes, because now you're at his house. No, there is no attendance, but the door just opens. Like the double doors just to his house just kind of like open as you come close.
Scervo's going to look back at the others. There's no way he has an open door policy, right? Look back and forth between them and the door.
No.
And then tentatively make steps.
Shrugging.
Tentatively makes the steps inward.
Perhaps it's the magic door that senses our presence.
Yeah.
As you guys, wait, you
I
guys
don't know if anyone else
right?
followed me. Scervo specifically went in. Does everyone follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
If
Follow
we all
at your
die,
own
we all
peril.
die.
All right. As you walk in, it's like there's like this will-o-wisp type of effect where there's just like this glowing blue orb type, it's like collection of orbs, like tiny orbs, and they seem to be, from what you think, they look like that they're giggling, as they just kind of lead you towards a room off to the side.
Stop for a second, Spencer. Maddie, I'm trying to make sure YouTube doesn't get mad at us or Twitch doesn't get mad at us and we lose our archive.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Yeah. All right.
I was wondering why you were suddenly blacking out your
They were
strange
having a
drawing.
contest.
Anyways, so
Anyway.
I guess we follow the wisps.
You come to a very lit room where Belladros. What's you've actually been in this room before earlier in the campaign, but
Ah,
he's
yes.
sitting there on his lavender lounge chair as he just has a magical, what's it, sort of hand that is lifting a plate of grapes in
Of
which
course he does. Field grapes, I
by
would
the
imagine.
yes, of course they're peeled.
Because of course he does.
You would have it no other way. And it's like he eats one final one, or at least he's turned away from you at the moment, but he knows that you're there. He eats one final one before shutting back on like his golden mask that he has before he goes and turns towards you. Hello, adventuring party number. Since he just like takes out a list that was in his coat pocket, 375.
We do
What
need.
what brings you to my humble abode?
First of all, I must thank you for the open door policy I had not realized you possessed. Second of all, I believe we may have found one of the artifact keys. However, getting it into possession is of concern.
As this goes on, it's like originally he was just like commanding like the plate to go away, not entirely paying attention to you. But as soon as you said like emerald orb, he quickly turns to your direction.
Yeah.
And you now have like his full attention.
So first of all, mental note inside Scervo's head. It appears he didn't know about it. The Emerald Orb does not appear to be too far from here, in fact. It is in the possession of the museum curator.
I
have reason. What does he say? I don't want to interrupt this very important.
How utmost concerning. Perhaps maybe there is a way to convince him. Did you ask too much about it? This is what
I did.
I didn't
ask
This is
him.
what I get for not paying too much attention to that museum. I knew something was off, but I didn't quite know what it was.
While I did not ask much about the orb itself, there was another artifact in his possession that very much belongs to me, that I have an interest in. I was able to glean some information surrounding that, and I have reason to believe he may in fact be a dragon.
Did
not
make
believe
sense.
So I do not believe he will willingly part with something of his collection, especially if such an artifact is intrinsically linked to him in any way.
You have suspicion that he is an emerald dragon. Am I correct?
Indeed. Indeed. I asked him about a boat that was in his possession, and as soon as he realized I have technical ownership over it, he, for lack of a better term, blew a fuse. He looked as though he was about to pop a gasket. He was
about 2 stages past that, my friend. He looked like he was
frantically claiming that everything is in his collection is his, not to mention, and was very clear on the policy of don't touch.
That does seem to be a bit normal for emerald dragons, as I remember correctly in my vast knowledge of dragonology as it is. But I guess that would make sense if it was a giant ship with cultural significance. As such, the orb, perhaps we could convince him of that, since that is merely just another thing, another more or less byproduct of his.
What did you say, Spencer? You cut out.
Oh shoot! Okay, shoot. Where did I leave off?
Yeah, I've hit
Byproduct
very
of
last word.
his.
Of his, well, this is just a, well, yeah, it's just a byproduct of him, and therefore should be easily obtainable. The ship, well, that might be more of a predicament.
Scervo's not entirely convinced that it's going to be easy getting the emerald either.
It's not gonna.
Yeah. And although granted, it's going to be damn near impossible to convince Scervo that anything in that in that room is going to be of less value than his ship, considering how extreme his reaction was to even being able to look at the interior of the vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you advise we act? I wouldn't want to do anything untoward that could cause problem to your operation.
Well,
Because I also
will
have suspicion he might that while it might not seem important to us, it might be vastly important to him. After all, the ship doesn't seem important to anyone else in this crew, in this team. But he shoots a
in the middle of
he shoots a glance to Theron.
the Theron. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just speak up. It's a ship for the middle of the desert. Kind of useless.
He'll throw up his hand
Unless, of course, you've been hiding the fact that it can fly from us.
Yeah. He'll throw up his hand like shut up, not now.
I'm like,
He's
no, I speak up. You haven't been hiding the fact that it can fly from us, have you? Because then, it would be useful.
not that I can recall, but however, it may be of more significant value to him, if not perhaps an emotional value. Now, while this may be speculation on my part, it could be that this belonged to someone important to him and was not actually his. So he keeps watchful eye over it. While this may be mere speculation, I find it best to always plan for the worst and hope for the best. Spencer, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just thinking about what his response would be. Because
Yes.
I have to do it in a voice.
Of course. It's kind of hilariously opposite of how I do Scervo. I just kind of keep going, and whatever I belch out is what he says. Because otherwise I freeze up and get cold feet.
All right, how do I word this? That is quite so, but I believe, I believe there could be a way to remedy this situation. Or you see, I wouldn't say
What if we provide a trade?
yes, that is what I was suggesting. Simply find something. I don't know exactly. In fact, I could probably just give you this staff per se, but no, I still need the staff, not time.
Sure.
Yes.
Scervo will gesture in a way that says that's fine. Because he clearly needs it. He's not about to question the boss's decisions.
But yes, simply just make a trade for it. As I do recall Emerald Dragon's care a little less for gemstones as they would, oh, perhaps maybe some sorts of art of sorts. I think one of you might have something.
Scervo's going to look confused. He didn't see what Paimon did.
I'll confused when I turn the Paimon and ticker and be
In
like,
fact, if I remember, everyone else was saving.
I'll just turn to Ticker and Paimon and be like, did one of you two steal something?
Ticker was with me. It was just actually no. It is a good point. There was like Scervo has a pretty damn solid alibi throughout the entire thing, so he's just turns to the other two with an eyebrow raised.
We both have eyebrows raised. Did one of you two steal something?
I take out the. Was it a map that I stole?
No,
I think it was a map.
I think it was a map of something like of that nature.
Yes,
However,
it was a very, very, very old map of Toriel.
Right.
Possibly even a map of
I take
Aviar
it out
Portal.
and hold it up.
Scervo's gonna. So that might be enough to buy the emerald, but if we want to buy the boat back, that's probably we're gonna have to find something of equal or greater value.
Yeah.
Because obviously Scervo only cares about his ship right now. He's hopelessly fixated on it. Huh.
Well,
I could buy that. Might be able to buy back the emerald if he's willing to, provided he's willing to trade.
But yeah, so like, as what's it? So as Paimon takes out like the very old map is like Bellatrix just goes over and is like, wait a second, I didn't know you had that on you. Like a bit confused.
Wait, then what were you referring to?
I was I was merely suggesting that perhaps we could have found something, but perhaps, if you will, this could do for a trade.
I'll have to go on another expedition. This might be able to buy what you want, but at this point, it's what I want that matters to me most. I want my ship. I'm sure you can understand a captain's hopeless fixation on their own ship.
Well, I cannot totally sympathize, for I have never once been a captain of a ship. I too can sympathize with the longing of a long forgotten piece that I believe to be part of me.
Oh, yep, that's
something.
setting off about 15 million alarm bells.
Hello, red flag. Why, hello there, red flag. We'll just pile you up with the other 5 red flags we've collected on this fine fellow. We'll be on the lookout for the next
only 5.
flag.
I was like, what's the only 5? But then you mentioned on this fellow specifically, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, tell me, did you lose something recently?
Oh, not recently. I just did you guys like completely blank out of like that entire speech he said at the beginning when you came here?
I have a feeling he's talking about something that has to do with this lock.
Yeah. I get the feeling this dude is like Vecna or something, and like the eye and hand of Vecna are back there. Actually, you know what? That's a pretty good guess, given that he always wears a mask.
Did I just...
He's Vecna, isn't he?
I literally just went on a history bender about this guy.
So we're literally looking for the deity of necromancy. Lovely.
Yep, the god of all liches. That's who we're working for. Great.
A Serarak's boss.
Yep.
A Serarak, you know, the guy who's in charge of the massive, like, meat grinder dungeon.
Yep. The guy who taught a Serarak how to be a lich.
Lovely. That's just lovely.
Yeah. I would make a roll for something like that, but unfortunately I have to roleplay it that Scervo's more fixated on his ship right now. He must reclaim what is his.
I don't. None of us would know anything about that in character.
I mean, I now know a lot about the bad guy, but then again, making the connection would be a bit of a stretch. So
yeah,
I guess
making the connection would be a bit of a stretch. But out of character, like the foreshadowing that's going on and everything, this dude's Vecna.
Anyways, so you know what? Might as well double check some policies because Scervo's clearly heavily fixated on his on what is rightfully his. Scervo. What? What did you say, Spencer?
I just, you're heavily fixated on your boat.
Yes. Yes. His fixation on the past will never let him. He won't be able to centuries rest comfortably ever again, knowing that his ship is within his reach, but he can't have it. So he's sitting.
In theory, if we got your boat back, could we remove the 800 or 900 gold housing bill by just living in his boat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. Granted, there might be a rental, there might be some sort of fee for setting up sleeping quarters somewhere, but for setting up our own.
No.
What?
Theron now cares.
Yeah, Theron now cares about getting the boat back.
If it means saving money.
Wait a second. Free real estate.
He realized the boat's free real estate. Thus is more. Because, like, how big was the ship?
The ship is your, average Spanish galleon size.
So she's a grand old vessel that will require a crew of way more than we have.
Yeah, to move it, but not to live in it.
Oh no! I can
we're in the middle of
the
conversation, and then the light bulb just comes on in their heads. It's like, wait a second, it's free real estate.
For reference, I just, according to the rules I have under Adamantine, the max crew of a galley is 120. The minimum crew is actually only 3.
A galley. This is a galleon. A galley is a tiny little Greek rowboat. A galleon is a full-size sailing ship the Spanish used.
Well, in D&D, a galley is a huge 3-masted sailing vessel.
Oh, lovely.
Well, anyways,
funny terms.
Well, anyways, so you say that out loud. Scervo turns. What are you blabbing on about?
It's free real estate.
What's free real estate?
Your ship.
You say in a kind of whisper tone. It's free real estate.
Scervo goes. What are you getting at? There are sleeping quarters on board. Oh, that's what you care about.
Figured Maddie would have said that.
It cost us money.
It was only a matter of time. Like the mighty Thanos, it was inevitable.
Took you long enough.
Someone needs to paste that guy's face over Thanos.
It was inevitable.
Maddie, I think Maddie's gonna do
it. We have a mission for you.
Seems like something that Maddie would do.
So, anyways, to move on. So So wait, you're actually wanting to live aboard me vessel once we reclaim it under my ownership?
Why
You don't
not?
need Photoshop
They can't
for it.
charge us the extortionist rent rates if we're on your ship that you own.
He'll turn to Bellatros. I'm curious. What would there be a fee for parking? For parking a form of sleeping quarters in near the city or within?
As long as it is outside the gates, I do not believe so. But at the same time, we do not have parking fees for boats. Usually, it would be you would put it in a stable or kind of a yard for that. But as far as that is concerned, I believe you do have grounds for a sufficient runabout.
So we'll need to.
Ooh,
So,
real
if
quick,
we're on the
I'm
same
just
page,
curious
then
about
this.
something. I'm just curious about something, Spencer.
What?
Just for future reference, I don't know if this would at all be possible. If we get the boat back, would it be hypothetically possible, using downtime, for Ticker to turn it into an airship? Like Destiny's Bounty style.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you no.
Awesome.
So now Ticker's eyes light up as he just goes out. I can make it fly.
Yep, I have an idea.
I
getting your
definitely
and
never
then we're
made
giving
the
you
plans
upgrades.
that perhaps that this would have happened in the future, and definitely did not make things that pertain to you acquiring this ship and having that exact thing happen.
We're like, Scervo, we're stealing your ship, and then we're giving it upgrades. No, you have no say in this.
No, seriously, I am going to Destiny's Bounty this thing. We will have a...
Scervo sees Ticker lighting up. What are you? Now, what's got you excited?
We're just thinking all the upgrades we're gonna give your ship, and you're like, my
as
ship?
you're all instantly.
What are you doing to my ship?
I love that you're all instantly suddenly starting to go like, hell yeah, it's Captain Scervo. He's got a boat.
I think I can make it fly is what you'll hear.
I was trying to give you a look like you're kidding me, right?
Nope.
No. He's bloody hell. You're serious.
Ticker immediately like starts like counting like I'll need this part and this part.
Yeah.
He just spouting off a list of things.
Just starts talking in Thright. Just starts muttering in
Okay.
Thright.
But before we do anything drastic, we still agree I'm the captain of the vessel, correct?
Of course.
It was.
Well, of course. You're the only one who can steer the silly thing.
Then it's fair game, as long as we're on the same page. Let's come up with a plan to reclaim my ship. We'll need to have a... So, if we... Let's consider a best-case scenario. If we can buy
derail
back...
the entire campaign by trading the map for the ship instead of the map for the orb.
Well, I mean, I think either way will actually be fine by Bellatros, because, granted, he might not get the emerald as fast as he wants it, but at the same time, it gives us resources to be able to... It gives us resources... Yeah, to be able to do... to potentially work on the other orbs. Now that he knows where it is, he could potentially make moves to get it on his own, but I doubt that he will.
Well, of course not. He has us. Isn't that what he has us and all the other adventurers for?
Yeah. No, exactly. So best case scenario. Let's see if we can't find something of worthy trade for my vessel. We'll need
We need another artifact.
We'll
Actually, I
need an
don't say that
artifact.
out loud.
We'll need an artifact.
Well,
but
I mean, you guys are just having this kind
Yeah,
of
so he's-
conversation.
so
It's
he
like
actually-
Bellatrix has just gone back to laying in the lounge chair, just waiting.
Oh, I
for you
imagine
guys
we're
to
walking
be
out of
done.
his
I was
office
literally
now.
just about to ask Bellatrose, be like, what was his last name again?
Gelt.
Gelt.
Gelt. Mr. Gelt, if you don't mind me calling you that.
I do not see a problem.
Mr. Gelt, I will. Do we go on our scheduled are the scheduled expeditions required to be done on a certain?
Oh. I heard Badooks.
Are scheduled expeditions specified in our contract on paragraph 5? Do they have to be completed at specified times specified by the company, or are we able to set out on an expedition proclaiming that we are able to obtain a curator of sorts or a watch? I'm trying to think of a term for the
supervisor.
Yeah, a supervisor.
Well, you are the first to give me information as to such. However, that is only one piece of the puzzle. I will give you by this time next week to obtain it. If you have not, then I am afraid to say, but I will have to go tell everyone else about your findings.
Of course,
We have 10 days.
Yep, 10 days. Of course, time frames. I like the way you think, sir.
I do have a deadline to meet.
Of course, don't we all? Now, lads and lass, we have a mission. We now have a mission. We'll need to obtain
Didn't we already have one?
Yes. But anyways, actually, he didn't answer my original question, though.
What was your
If we can just
original
go out
question?
whenever.
Yeah. If we were able to effectively go out on the expedition whenever, or if we have to do it at a required time.
Because if it has to be Friday per se, or if we can just do it any day of the week.
Yeah. Are we able to just go to an office and be like, we'd like to do our weekly expedition, and then go dungeon crawling?
Yes. It's like it's just required that you have to do one per week, but you can also, like,
Excellent.
in the contract, it's like you can do multiple in a row, and by doing so, let's say you can get off that many more weeks in advance.
I did not.
If we did 3 this week, we wouldn't have to do any for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
I didn't remember hearing that part in the contract. Otherwise I would have already known that. Oh well, that's fine.
We still
have
haven't
the information now. That's all that matters.
Spire who wears red. We still haven't done that.
All right. I believe we have everything we need. You have a good evening now, Mr. Beltros. I apologize for taking so much of your time.
It is 2 p.m., but sure.
Yeah, it's like, working with androids and their belief that organic beings care about time way too much. So we will take our leave, should you be permitted.
That shall bind. And remember, 10 days, 2 p.m. by this time.
Okay, Scervo is gonna actually he's gonna take off his hat and take off his bandana, and he's gonna ask Ticker for a screwdriver.
I'll hand him one. Oh wait, first of all, I'm gonna ask him what kind.
Flathead.
Okay, he'll hand him a screwdriver.
Yeah, and then Scervo's gonna plot it in gonna stick it into the exposed gears, and then he's gonna turn it. You hear ticking sounds like winding up a music box. Like he's winding up something. He winds it. He gives it a few ticks, and then he you
Setting
hear
a mechanical alarm clock?
You hear some sound. You hear some sounds that out of character are Morse code for timeline set.
Okay.
Yeah, he just set an alarm clock.
Yep, and he's just, and then
I
he
imagine
hands
Kicker would probably know Morse code.
Yeah. So you basically just hear alarm set.
But the real question would be: has Morse code been invented?
I don't know if that's actually what that would have been, but whatever. The point is he then is like, 10 days, 2 p.m. We'll be here.
There's your Morse code.
Yeah.
Right.
There it is. So he'll replace his bandana and his hat, and then turn around. Come on. Okay. All right, you landlubbers. We've got planning to do.
That sounds like a good stopping
That
point.
does sound like a really good stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so stop the session here. We might be
gonna-
back next week. We might not be. We'll find out. And you'll find out when we find out.
Or will they?
Or will you? Anyways, thanks for watching. See you later.